grave, authoritative. This swirling nebula represents a universe on the edge of total collapse. A dark faction known as the Kurawas is rising to power, bringing a level of chaos that threatens to unmake the world entirely. To prevent this, the supreme deities engineer a radical, desperate solution: a mass reincarnation. As you see in this diagram, the gods split their own souls into distinct streams of light, preparing to descend into the physical world as mortals. The streams route directly into the wives of two earthly rulers, King Basudewa and King Pandu. The plan is to incubate these divine souls in royal wombs, allowing them to be born as earthly princes and princesses. This entire strategy hinges on a single, fragile variable: human timing. For the gods to manifest, mortal biology must align perfectly with divine intent. King Basudewa has absolutely no idea he is the linchpin in a divine strategy. In fact, right at the critical moment, he decides to go on a hunting trip. He leaves his palace in Mandura, guarded from the outside, but effectively leaderless on the inside. Look closely at the faces of the figures in this court photograph. It captures the rigid, tense reality of a royal household. While Basudewa's younger wives are all pregnant with the prophesied children, his first wife, Devi Mahara, is left behind. She is isolated, depressed, and convinced she has been forgotten. Basudewa's absence in the woods, combined with Mahara's deep emotional isolation at home, creates an opening. The palace guards can keep out an army, but they cannot protect a lonely queen from her own desperation. By neglecting the quiet instability inside his walls, Basudewa has left the palace doors open for an enemy who doesn't need force to get inside. An ogre king named Kurawa senses this vulnerability. He bypasses the entire royal guard by shapeshifting into an exact replica of King Basudewa. Wearing the king's face, the impostor walks straight into Dewi Maharaya's bedroom. Meanwhile, deep in the Banjar Padman forest, the real King Basudewa triggers the divine plan. He shoots two wild beasts with his arrows. Instantly, the animals burst into brilliant streaks of colored light. These overlapping shadows illustrate the dual realities happening in Mandura. The divine light flies back to the palace and enters the wombs of the other wives to become the prophesied heroes. And they arrive at the exact second the impostor king violates Dewi Maharaya behind closed doors. The supreme design of the gods and the messy, brutal deception of a monster happened under the exact same roof, at the exact same moment. The deception is quickly uncovered. The real king's brother realizes what has happened, confronts the impostor in the bedroom, and kills him. But the damage is done. When King Basudewa returns, he is furious. He blames Dewi Mahara for the defilement and banishes her to the deep woods. Abandoned and traumatized, she falls severely ill and dies alone in a makeshift hut. But the story doesn't end with her death. This illustration of a decaying root birthing a dark seed shows what happens next. A rogue ogre priest discovers Mahara's corpse. Using dark magic, he reaches into her lifeless body and extracts a living, rapidly matured half-ogre baby named Kangsa. Basudewa banished his wife to ruthlessly purge a perceived shame from his kingdom. By forcing her out of the heavily guarded palace, he unknowingly guaranteed the survival of the very monster destined to challenge his reign. Back at the palace, the divine plan culminates. 4 royal babies are born carrying the souls of the gods: Baladeva, Krishna, Sumbadra, and Arjuna. But look at this scale. Their birth is immediately offset by Kangsa, tipping the balance of power toward darkness. When Basudewa learns that an ogre child survived his wife's death, his instinct is to rely on military might. He wants to deploy his royal forces, hunt the monster down, and protect his newborn heirs inside the fortress. But a divine messenger named Batara Narayana descends with a warning. He tells the king that if the 4 heroes are raised as pampered royals inside the palace, they will grow soft and disconnected, and Kangsa will eventually destroy them all. To ensure they survive, the king must permanently give his children away. Narada commands that they be raised by simple farmers, Buyut Antiogopa and Nyai Sagopi, in the remote village of Widarakandang, hidden far from royal influence. As we pan across this lone puppeteer, we see the logic of the gods. The heroes aren't being hidden just for safety, they are being stripped of their royalty. Only by growing up alongside the people they are meant to lead can they gain the wisdom and perspective required.